but if you can kind of get two lights, whether it be if you can get them closer to the house, and even if you angle them a bit so that it's they're kind of just, again, gently washing the facade of that brickwork is nice. If these trees are going to be too close and they're on both ends, you can always bring that a little bit further back to still have it shine fairly upright so it's getting here, but then it'll highlight those trees a little bit as well. I'm a bigger fan of trying to light the brick and then just get the silhouette of those plants in front of it. Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys enjoy this video with some more great landscape lighting tips. To learn more about landscape lighting, go and check out our website at lightingdoctor.ca, or if you want to see what a real quality landscape light should look like, go and check out our Try It Before You Buy It offer, where you can get a premium quality fixture at a discounted rate with your very own battery pack, so you can go and test out how that light's going to look and feel what a real premium quality light should look like. So go and check us out at lightingdoctor.ca, or go watch more videos on YouTube just by searching for the Lighting Doctor. Hi DJ, yeah, great. Thanks for the email. Great pictures. This really helps. Yeah, if the beds aren't built yet, and obviously I know just the way landscaping goes, sometimes things change a bit. So more just kind of give you some ideas. And if not everything's planted, it might be good, because then you can kind of plant some stuff that that fits in, and maybe you move a couple things here and there. But if I kind of go around to the front of the house, if you've watched the videos, you know one of the things I'm going to talk about is definitely just highlighting some of the nice brickwork that you have on the property here. So the way I like to do that is just with some uplight, especially when you have a bed like that. Keep your costs down, use just a standard uplight. But because you have some taller peaks, the only thing is you're going to want to use something a little bit brighter than the 4-watt LED lamp that comes in it. They'll call it a 20-watt equivalent. Really, you want to get up to a 35-watt equivalent, so it's about a 5-watt LED lamp. And the way I would do it, I think on this front section here, if you can, if these haven't been planted yet, try and give yourself some room behind them, at least 12, 18 inches, where you can have one of those uplights on both sides of the entryway here that are just washing the brickwork right up to the top peak. That's why we want those higher lights, because we just really want this whole area to stand out, because it's right by the doorway area too. That's why I like having it a little closer to the house behind that tree, because it kind of hides it a bit, so you don't see the fixture. You don't have that kind of side glare in your eyes. So if you can get that light behind these, would be ideal. And then it does a really nice job of making the entryway pop. To kind of continue that theme along the house, I would definitely try and do, this is where I was kind of torn, but I think to kind of get the symmetry, so everything kind of matches, is I'd probably use that same light, but I would have it more underneath the window here and shining up, so that it's just kind of cascading the wall this way. Same thing under here and under here, because if you were to just do it in the middle of this window here, and then you probably wouldn't want to do another one here because you have one here, so it would just kind of look unbalanced. Whereas if you have it kind of under each of these windows, same thing, you're not bringing it back shining in the window. You want that fairly close behind these plants so that it's shining up. So it's really the angle of the light is just washing the gentle subtleties in the brick and making that stand out. So if you did that, and then what I would do is over on this side here, I would try and get those lights more. Now it depends exactly where these trees are, and same thing, if you can kind of get them symmetrical, but if you can kind of get two lights, whether it be if you can get them closer to the house, and even if you angle them a bit so that it's they're kind of just, again, gently washing the facade of that brickwork is nice. If these trees are going to be too close and they're on both ends, you can always bring that a little bit further back to still have it shine fairly upright so it's getting here, but then it'll highlight those trees a little bit as well. I'm a bigger fan of trying to light the brick and then just get the silhouette of those plants in front of it. Always looks really nice. So that's what I would do across the front of the house to light those areas. On a tree like this, just consider viewing angle. If this is going to be a really key tree, something you might want to do is you might want to use two uplights, but just the standard lights. You don't need the bright 35-watt equivalent. The 4-watt LED or 20-watt equivalent one that are in it would be fine. But consider viewing angle. And sometimes when I have one that's on a corner like this, especially if it's going to be a nice white flowering tree too, you get a lot of reflective light off that. I might be tempted to put two on this tree, kind of one more on this side and one more on this side, so that as you're walking around the house, you kind of have this area highlighted from whatever angle you're looking at. Whereas if you just put one here, if you're coming around the side of the house, you're not going to see a lot of light here when it's in full bloom. But if you can get those two uplights kind of on two angles, I think that'll really make that area stand out. And then I'll talk to you, I'll go through this area as well, but I think on the front here, another light that you're going to want to use a little bit is some wash lights. Now, I'm a bigger fan of trying to use different kinds of uplights as opposed to path and garden lights. And where I would use something like this is, so say for an example, I've got a smaller tree in the corner here. I've got my light here, but there's not going to be much in this area. And what tends to happen is this looks like a bit of a dark spot. So if I can get a wash light kind of more on this side that's shining and highlighting this tree, because it's not as high, it's not as tall, I don't need as bright a light, I want a softer, subtler, wider light. That's where a wash light's really good. And then it kind of shines through that too, and creates some shadows, and again helps bring out some of the subtlety in the brickwork that you have over here. And then to kind of create a matching effect with that and have a nice lower level of lighting, rather than what I see a lot of people do is just put some path and garden lights, which in your garden I think would actually still look really nice if you were to do, you know, maybe 3 of them kind of in between these shrubs, and same thing over here. But a light I like to use is that wash light, whereas if I got my 2 uplights here, I might try and throw a wash light, say behind this bush that's kind of highlighting the nice roses here. And then I've got my wash light here, and then over on this side where I've kind of got the house lit in the front here, I might try and throw a wash light to kind of highlight some of these roses. And even if you do that, you can still sprinkle a couple path and garden lights if you want to highlight the pathway, but you can use them very sparingly, because you could probably throw one in here. You've kind of got this backlit. You could kind of throw one in here. You've got some light here. Maybe throw another one here. You've got some uplighting here, and you throw another one here. So maybe you only have like 4 path lights, maybe 5 along this little stretch at the most. But I think you'll get more bang out of the wash lights. And again, same thing. That's where over here it's nice. Whereas just to kind of keep with that same theme as the rest of the house, I would probably just stick with the windows, where I would have my 2 uplights kind of underneath the windows. Same thing on these ones. You don't need it as bright as these top peaks. Just that standard 4-watt LED like you would use here would be good in this area. But this is where, because it's so much more spread out, I think you would want to have a couple wash lights kind of in between where you have those higher uplights to highlight some of those areas, and then maybe just, you know, 2 path lights tops in here. So ideally I would love to see 1, maybe 2, 3, no more than 5 pathway lights along this whole area, but then a nice contrast of some uplighting, which is going to be just a little brighter, a little more intense, and then some wash lighting. And then obviously, you know, a big tree like this in front, if you wanted to highlight this, if it's going to be in the grass, the only thing you're going to want to do different is, rather than just an uplight, you might want to use an in-ground light. Basically same idea. The only thing is you can put this right in the grass flat, so you can just mow right over it. And on a tree like this, I would probably try and get it a little bit further out so it's getting more of the canopy. And same thing, I like anytime I have a tree that has a larger canopy to try and hit it from 2 angles. So maybe one kind of out here, and then same thing on the other side, so that it really stands out from the street. And yeah, and you know, and something you might want to consider too, if you're gonna place those path lights, anywhere where you kind of have the rocks is a really nice place to put them too. So if you're gonna have some of those big rocks, and again, I know some of this might change, but a path light here might look nice because it's going to light this, but then it also reflects off that rock and it really makes it stand out. And then you could maybe just throw your path lights where you have those boulders. Like I said, you kind of get one in here that backsplashes onto here. You might have another one in here, and then if you can get one over down by this rock, and then maybe one more by the steps, I think would be more than enough and still look really nice. So yeah, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. If you like those ideas, we can always help you customize a kit. You can play around on the website too, just add the different lights to your cart and whatnot, and then we can always go from there. But yeah, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out, and we'll go from there. And thanks again, DJ. We'll take a quick look at the cottage here. You know, nighttime pictures never quite do it justice. I think the only thing we're missing that I would add here is on the front porch, we're going to put a little downlight there to highlight it, but I think the light in the 2 sides of the windows was nice, create some symmetry. We're just missing a little bit of a dark spot in the middle there, and then as we kind of go around the side, we only use 6 lights on this guy, which is nice, but we just kind of highlight it again around the side here. Just to give a little bit, and as it gets darker, you'll really be able to see the subtleties
in the light. A little bit higher up is just tough to see right now. And then again by the entrance, we did the same thing over on this side. And I think everything turned out really nice. Very subtle lighting, but just enough to make it pop so that you can kind of see it from a distance. And then we'll show you the driveway here again as we get a little bit better light as it gets a little bit darker here. It's just another cool example. If you can see this top peak here where we used a couple gutter mounts and just focused them in on that top peak. Really turns out. Second story peaks, definitely something you want to focus on if you can get the lights up there. Definitely brings your landscape lighting plan to the next level.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys got some great do-it-yourself landscape lighting tips. Now, please be sure to go to our website at lightingdoctor.ca and check out our how-to page. It's full of great resources from our podcast to our video to our most frequently asked questions. And also check out our Try It Before You Buy It light, where you can actually go now and get one of our premium quality uplights and a King Innovation Insta-Light, which is basically a battery pack now that allows you to go and run those lights and test them out on your property. Try it for 14 days. If you don't love it, send it back to us and we'll give you a full refund. And if not, you keep the light at a discounted rate and go and buy what you need for your project. So thanks again for watching. Please be sure to leave us a comment. We love your feedback and have a great day.